Robin Hobb, where have you been all my life? Looks like I've got another favourite author to add to my ever-growing list. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I will be giving my first reading update of the Farseer Trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is a series I've known about for a while. It is highly regarded on Booktube. There are Booktubers there that can't stop raving about it. It rates very highly on Goodreads. My younger brother has recommended it to me and I thought it's about time I jump on the bandwagon, and I decided to devote the whole of July to reading the whole trilogy back to back, and I'm certainly glad I made that decision. It just means that I don't want to be distracted by anything else. I don't want any breaks in between the books because it would be just one big story, and I wanted it to flow seamlessly. And I don't regret picking up this series, guys. It is amazing. At the time of recording this video, I had actually finished quite a few days ago Assassin's Apprentice, the first book. So let's start with Hobb's writing style. I found it very, very hypnotic. What I mean by that is once you start reading and you get into the flow of things, it's like she puts you under her spell, like blowing fairy dust in your face, and you just lose all track of reality for a little while. It makes you want to just curl up with a warm blanket on a cold winter's day and just read for 2 hours and spend time with the main character Fitz in the Six Duchies. That is how comfortable I felt reading the first book. The world building is flawless. It's set in a medieval setting, so I like how there's a bit of advancement with knowledge. There's knowledge of steel, shipbuilding, herbology, weaponry, and the graphic imagery that Hobb uses is very, very detailed, and it's very, very easy to picture in your mind, and it's like reading a movie. Okay, so let's talk about the plot. It revolves around the main character Fitz, who comes to Buckkeep when he's 6 years old, and he'd been cared for by foster parents, and by the time he turns 6 they drop him literally at the door of Buckkeep Castle, and he is taken in, and he's pretty much raised by the stable master called Burrich, and takes him under his wing and teaches him how to do stable work, so preparing horses and caring for them and that sort of thing. But he's also the bastard son of a former king in waiting called Chivalry, and once Chivalry becomes aware of the existence of his illegitimate son, he abdicates his position of heir to the throne and goes into self-imposed exile into the inland duchies and lives a quiet life. And so the first book revolves around Fitz's life and how he struggles to fit into the society because bastards are shunned by society in general, and his life certainly isn't easy. But he's a very, very interesting character. He's a very sympathetic character. Robin Hobb wrote him very, very well. I really like some of the characters. There's a master assassin called Chade, who also takes Fitz under his wing and teaches him the fine art of assassination. Now, when you first think of assassination, you think, oh, he's going to learn how to, cut people's heads off in the street or walk up behind someone and stab them in the back. I really enjoy how Robin Hobb makes it a lot more deeper than just that. What I mean by that is we find that Fitz gets instructed in the fine art of assassination by working with poisons, spying, trying to remain invisible, turning the tide of influence against other monarchs to obtain a favourable result, misdirection and sneakiness, and it's just really interesting how a couple of the tasks that Fitz does, how he goes about that, and I find that really, really interesting. The one piece of advice I would give anyone going into the series for the first time is don't have too high expectations of the series being violent and bloody and sword fights and all that sort of thing. It's just not the case with this series. It's a slow burn, but on the other side of the coin, the story is very rich. The locations, the world building is phenomenal. It's so real, and Robin Hobb certainly has a gift. And other elements are the imminent threat of red ship raiders that prey on the coastal duchies, where they kidnap village people and forge them. So what they do is they strip them of all their personalities and souls and return them, and they're soulless beings that it's a worse scenario than actually death. So that I find that very interesting. In particular, I like the animal companions. We find that Fitz has a unique gift called the Wit, which allows him to communicate telepathically with animals, which I find very, very fascinating, and it's a very original magic system. And there's also another magic system called the Skill, where you can reach out like a Jedi uses the Force and can communicate and influence people from a great distance. And I think it's been alluded to and slowly described in the first book, and we're seeing a little bit more of it in the second book, but Robin Hobb is in no hurry to actually give that information, and I think that's a very important element which can't help but keep you reading and wanting to find out more and more. She's not putting all her cards on the table at once, and I think that's a very, very good thing with the books. It just keeps you reading and enjoying it. So I'm not going to put any spoilers in here, but the richness that she writes with and the realism is just fantastic. I really enjoyed a couple of Fitz's companions. There was his first pup was called Nosy, and he had a second dog called Smithy, who I really enjoyed reading about. And more recently, and we're seeing more of this wolf in the second book called Night Eyes, and he hasn't made much of an appearance so far, but I'm looking forward to reading more about Night Eyes as well, because I do have a soft spot for animal companions. So there you go, guys, that is where I am at, well into book 2 now. I'm hoping to get to finish book 2 in the next week or so before starting Assassin's Quest, the third book that'll close out the trilogy, and I'm predicting I will finish the whole trilogy by the end of the month. And if I have time at the end of the month, I might just squeeze in a quick palate cleanser read, which I've got lined up as well. So really having a good time. If you haven't picked up the series, please do it. You'll be pleasantly surprised, provided you just do a bit of research and go into it knowing what to expect. Because as I said, there's no war scenes or blood and guts or anything like that. It's all about the story, all about the characters, and I really like how Robin Hobb drops hints in throughout, just tantalising tidbits to keep you reading and wanting to find out more with what's going on. And there, I get the impression there is a lot more to be revealed. So really enjoying the ride, really appreciate you watching, thank you for that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll come back to you with another reading update very, very shortly. So thanks for watching again, guys, and until next time, see you later.